everybody knows, we've talked about a little bit on the show, you're a huge Rangers guy. How do you feel about your Rangers in a President's Trophy?
I feel on top of the world. I think I'm going to get hit by a car. This season has been a dream. Everything's like, you know, I want to say I think Charlie Lindgren is an incredible goaltender and a formidable opponent, but we did just pull probably the worst playoff team of my lifetime as an opponent in the first round. So I do feel really good.
So it does sound like you respect the office of the President's Trophy.
I do. I think the curse is BS, and I feel like it's been adequately debunked by people who spend all day on the internet fighting about hockey. But I feel great about it. I feel great that we set a record for our franchise, and this season has been just a complete and utter joy for me.
Well, here, while we're doing the debunking of President's Trophy stuff, this is my favorite stat.
Gonna give him some bad news.
Yeah, well, this is my favorite stat in the world. So obviously people say you win the President's Trophy, you're going to lose probably in humiliating fashion, which there's no great way to lose in the playoffs. There's only one winner. You're sad if you don't win. But 3 of the last 4 and 4 of the last 6 President's Trophy winners have gone to the Stanley Cup final the next year. So no matter what happens this year, you're at least looking at a very good spring 2025.
Okay, that I'll console myself with that if things go sideways. I appreciate that.
Does it feel like there's and I know that you guys are kind of involved with it, but it seems like the New York of it aside, there's been a little pop culture-y magic with the Rangers this year where the spotlight just kind of stays on them. Matt Rempe becoming this celebrity, Larry David name dropping Artemi Panarin, which I was watching that live. I don't know if you were. That was the coolest TV watching moment of my life, to rewind and be like, yes, he's talking about Artemi Panarin. You guys go into the game holding up the enormous thing of bread that we then immediately bought on Amazon. Does it feel like there is something off the ice with the team this year magically?
Yes, I do. I think that there's, for lack of a better word, an incredible vibe around the team this year. And yeah, it's even when we had a little bit of a rough stretch in December and January when the bottom fell out on goaltending, other than that, it's been unbelievable how well these guys have been playing. And, I think the coaching staff is really, really impressive. When we went to the game against the Flyers, and I love that you guys got that bread. We were in the kind of restaurant area backstage at MSG, and I saw Michael Pekka from a distance, and I was joking with my friends that I was going to go up with my hands shaking and say thank you, Mr. Pekka, for improving our face-off percentages. But it's there's a vibe. There is the team is playing really, really great hockey, and I've probably watched 90% of the games this year. And I don't know. I feel as good as I could. Now, I'll say that last year after the first 2 games against the Devils, I was feeling extremely bullish and arrogant. And so I do have to check myself here. But I do. Yeah, there's a vibe around the team. I love that Curb reference. I love that there was another Rangers reference in the final episode of Curb. Hopefully there's some magic around the team this year.
Let me ask you this. As a bread man, where do you stand on Artemi Panarin's Hart candidacy? Because this is a very fucking close year for the Hart candidacy, and there's a lot of guys. Panarin seems to be the guy that gets the least amount of respect, but where do you stand on his ranking amongst that group?
I think he's had a career season, and in any other year he would many other years, I should say, he would win the Hart. But I do respect McKinnon, and he's had an incredible season, and I'm sure it'll be him. And did Matthews hit 70 goals? I didn't check.
Not yet.
Okay,
Tonight,
okay,
probably.
yeah. There's so much incredible stuff happening all around the league. So I don't think Panarin will get it this year, but any other year. And I think the fact that he's having a career season is it's so sick.
What's the story of the bread? And I'm sure that this was around the time that you're dropping Only God Was Above Us, which fuck, I really wanted to do the talk show host thing of
You kind of did. You
our
lightly
next
did.
guest just released his 5th full-length LP. Famously, it has no skips. Only God Was Above. Anyway, you're doing the press and all the promo for that. You're playing Madison Square Garden, so you're doing all that. Are you like, we got to get to a Rangers game as part of all this promotion?
Well, I will say, you know, I've been a fan since I was a kid. My dad was a season ticket holder. And then, you know, in my early adult life, I guess I would say, I got a lot more casual, kind of just watching the playoffs. And then with COVID happening and hockey coming back, I really got completely obsessed again, and I'm like frothing at the mouth fan of this team. So, you know, we when we're hanging out as a band, we're always talking about stuff that we're interested in. And I know that, like, talking to Ezra, and CT's a huge basketball fan. He loves the Nets, and like we just, you know, talk about sports together. And I know Ezra will like follow along when Rangers were playing Devils, because Ezra's from New Jersey and has a lot of friends who are good Devils fans. I know he was like checking the scores live every night when that series was going on. So you know, we talk about hockey a lot just because it's something that I'm very interested in. And I can't remember who had the sort of initial idea of us going to a game. But you know, we were going to maybe do something in April where we were going to try and play A-Punk with Ray Castoldi, the MSG, you know, the legendary MSG organist and music director who wrote the Goal song. That ended up not working out, and we ended up just getting to go to a game. But yeah, I thought I've seen some fans with those massive breads, and you know, I wanted to pay respect to an incredible athlete having a career season. So that was the story of that.
One of the staples of our show is the chat gets into hockey puns based off of hockey names. And so there's been like Blake Whisper, there's Igor Shesterkin, just based off of the audio issues that we're experiencing so far.
Okay,
so
nice.
At least we're making the best out of a tough situation.
We got
Yes,
Vinny
I'm
Tro check the
sorry.
levels.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
You mentioned A-Punk, and I very badly wanted to ask you this question. What is the band's relationship with A-Punk? Because it's like 16 years into a band's biggest song, they're typically somewhere between like sick of and resentful towards a hit. And it seems like you guys, whether through playing it 3 times in a row, sometimes in concert or whatever else, it seems like you guys have kind of beaten everybody to making it a meme. And Sean, if you could pull up the MSG promo, you're playing 2 shows and it says 2 shows, no repeats except A-Punk. What is the band's relationship with A-Punk right now, and why is it like that?
I think we can recognize that it's our most successful song by quite some margin, you know, and it's sort of like interesting that that song came together very, very quickly. I should say at the time we rehearsed at a place called Ultrasound, which was on 30th Street, right by the Garden. So I would get off at the MSG stop and go to Ultrasound, and that was where A-Punk was created. So the fact that our you know, most successful song was made a couple blocks away from the Garden is I don't know, it's special to me. And I think that, you know, we've had a long career now, and it's been sort of interesting now. You know, we've been a band for 18 years. To be doing this again feels so lucky. But yeah, just having it be a meme song, I do feel bad that when people would put their phone into their car, it would be the first thing that would play automatically in a lot of people's speakers. Like
Been there.
That was certainly yes, yeah. And you know, when we were in Ultrasound 18 years ago working that song out, I didn't understand you know, Bluetooth connecting to cars at that time when we, you know, had the title of that song. But yeah, it's a very, very fun song to play live. It's not a particularly challenging song to play live, and people go nuts for it. So I'm just grateful that we have that song, and that people seem to still like it. And I apologize again about the car thing.
You make the set lists for the band, so what is it like when you write down a punk, a punk, a punk, and then bring it to the fellas?
Well, that was Ezra's idea. I should say that he wanted to play it 3 times when we were, playing Lollapalooza in 2018. And I will say, right as we were walking on stage, he looked at me and was like, "Do you think we should play A-Punk 3 times in a row?" And I said, "Absolutely, bro." Like, of course. There was a little moment of doubt in there, but it's all fun, and we have hopefully. With the way booking the Garden goes and stuff like that, we knew we got these 2 dates like a year ago. So as a result of that, we've been talking about what we want to do at those 2 shows specifically for a year at this point, and we have some pretty fun and hopefully unhinged surprises for the people that are going to be coming to both nights. So it's going to be very, very special for all of us.
Unhinged surprises, says the person that has already brought out Paris Hilton and Abraham Lincoln and done a mid-eclipse show. You guys have like taken on, as I say this, like obviously the group's kind of become, I'd say, jam band adjacent, because I wouldn't qualify you guys as a jam band, because like you'll do, I think,
I
like,
agree, yeah,
like planned fuckery maybe a little bit, but
there's a lot of world building in the Vampire Weekend world.
I really love what both of you just said there, because that's absolutely what we're going for. And, people can join our world and enjoy all the craziness, or they can ignore us. And that's kind of what the attitude is. Bringing out Paris Hilton and Abraham Lincoln on Saturday was absolutely sick and really, really fun. My wife read Paris Hilton's memoir and says it's really, really great. So it's definitely in my reading queue. So I just, I can't wait to check that out. And we have stuff on that level planned for future shows on this tour. So, and hopefully people following along enjoy it.
One of my favorite things about the Vampire Weekend world is the bootleg merch, and a lot of that bootleg merch is NHL adjacent, including the New York Rangers one that I see often, and there it is on you. What's like been your experience with the Vampire Weekend bootleg merch scene and in that whole experience?
I forget sometimes just how fervent and passionate it is, and I part of getting obsessed with hockey is that I have something that I can obsess about that's not music, and it's very good and helpful for me. I learned, so I'm definitely not like looking at everything that's happening, but we do get sent cool stuff by our management and friends and stuff like that. And I should give a shout out to my friend Gordon, who is an artist. He runs a brand called Consume Cool, but he made me that Rangers shirt as a present when we were getting to know each other 5 or 6 years ago. And then now that's a thing where we did a signing at Rough Trade last week, and somebody came up wearing that New York Rangers Vampire Weekend logo. And, the most recent thing that was sent to us that I thought was incredibly cool is that the name of our extremely long country medley that we did, that Paris Hilton participated in, was Cocaine Cowboys. And we played Cocaine Cowboys live for the first time on Monday of last week. And on Wednesday or Thursday, someone sent us a bootleg merch that said Cocaine Cowboys on it. And it's surreal. It's surreal and great.
Well, I'll say, like, bootlegging in general is just heavily back. One of our friends famously left his full-time job and just started making bootleg toys, and makes has a career doing it, is like raising a family on being a bootleg toy guy. It's incredible. And I do think, like, whether it's Vampire Weekend and then that also extends into like the Time Crisis thing, like that I feel is responsible for a lot of that shit. And I mean, we started doing it for stuff that we do for our shows. Like, Sean, if you could pull up Madison Square Garden when, like, that's the thing I made for Pete.
It's the best. It's the best.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then that's us at Madison. That's, yeah, Esty as the
Lady
I love
Liberty.
that.
Liberty.
I love that.
Here's what we have planned, though, for MSG. Sean, can you show us LD? Bang.
Oh, man. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to cry. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome until we don't get in the building and their owner finds us.
Oh, yeah. So we should note James Dolan doesn't like Pete's tweets.
Okay. I would have liked to have known that before I agreed to appear here.
That's what I said.
You'll
I was
never
like,
be allowed back in the building again.
I said at the beginning of the show, I was like, we don't have like a beef with James Dolan. I was like, we are not going to do anything to sully Vampire Weekend's reputation with MSG. You guys have a Billy Joel record to break.
You know what? We'll see. That would be the ultimate. But something funny did happen when I went to the Ranger game last week. Adam Graves I got to meet, who's a complete gentleman. My dad's met him a couple times, but I was talking to him about my fandom, and he was like, "Oh, I think I'm going to come to your show." And I kept being like, "Oh," and we have like the best management and best people, and like I was like, one of my managers was right by. I said, "Oh, please give your information to Brian. He'll get you on the guest list." And we kept talking. I was like, because I really want Adam Graves to come see us play live. And I think I said it probably 3 times, and finally Adam was like, it's okay. They gave me a key to the building. I don't need to get on the guest list. And I was just like, right, when your name is in the rafters, you don't need to go on a band's guest list. So I had never thought of that, but it was very, very fun and funny.
Oh my God. That is so funny. Yeah, because I mean, being on the guest list never gets old. That's a fantastic feeling when someone's like, "Hey, we're getting tickets. How many do you want?" And you have to do the, I think I'll be all set, when that means I'm on the fucking guest list. So I feel bad for Graves that he doesn't get to experience that, but I feel happy for him that he's like, I get to go there whenever I want.
And just look up and see his own name.
Yeah.
So,
pretty cool.
Let me ask you this. Famously, there have been songs attached to successful Stanley Cup runs, as you guys would know because you played, as DJ just showed me before the show, you guys played Gloria before one of your shows in St. Louis, and it was very funny. But what song would you attach to a New York Rangers run this year, if you had any pick?
I know that this is cheap and unfair, but when they showed us on the Jumbotron, they played our new song Gen X Cops, which is, I think, a very good hockey song. I could see it being the kind of thing where it gets played while the team skates out on the ice. So I humbly submit that song.
You know what? Gen X Cops, as you say that, is like, I haven't played a hockey video game in forever, but like that would be on like an EA Sports NHL kind of soundtrack. Like that would be the Vampire Weekend song that is in there. I mean, you have a song with New York in the name. Jerusalem, New York, Berlin probably isn't hitting massively as like a goal celebration song. It's a bit of a ballad.
Yeah. So yeah, it's hard because on this album, there's a ton of New York references, but like Hope, I love the New York reference in that one. It's not really hockey adjacent though. Mary Boone. Is there a New York in the chorus? That's a very difficult question. I need to do more research, I think, to adequately answer it.
Nerdy music question. That's you in the beginning of Ice Cream Piano on the harmony, right?
No. It's
really?
It's Ezra. I think
that's double Ezra?
Yeah, that's double Ezra.
So typically it'll be like a lot of like double Ezra. I thought so. I something about it sounded different, and I was like, I wonder if that's fucking Baio.
I can't get up there. Colin and Garrett, who play with us live, they really have beautiful voices when they get up there, and it's Garrett right now when we play it live. But my vocal contributions are limited to on record the shouts on White Sky and some of California English, some of those harmonies.
I mean, we did have a big Vampire Weekend week because yesterday we had Sebastian Aho on, and Aho could arguably be a lyric in White Sky, depending on what you want to decide Ezra's doing with that crazy mouth of his in the chorus. But you're also on the, you know what you kill live while we're paying compliments is Yeah Hey. That song, like, I'll commend your set list making because you usually kind of put it like back, quarter of the night. But yeah, you on whatever that monster voice thing you're doing is incredible. Something that, by the way, the chat's been very distracting with hammering Vampire Weekend names. There's been Campus Fowler. There's been Mary Boone Jenner. There's been
I love that one. I love that one.
Nick Cousins. There's been a lot of really, really good ones. Someone said there's a player named Beowulf Fontaine who is a prospect for the Nashville Predators. Best fucking name in the world. We did a whole episode. He was like a 7th round pick, dude. We did a whole episode on how if you are a GM and there's a person in the draft named Beowulf Fontaine.
It's Gunnerwolf Fontaine.
Gunnerwolf, I'm sorry. Yeah, Beowulf is the story. But if there's a guy named Gunnerwolf Fontaine, you better be fucking sure he sucks to not draft him in the first round.
Of course.
But I know that Pete wanted to know, what is the rest of like the musician hockey fan world like? I know Wes and Matt from Rah Rah Riot, big hockey boys. Famously, Buble got shit for canceling a show to watch a Canucks Stanley Cup final game that they lost to the Bruins. Is there like a little group with you guys and like Tate McRae, or is it bigger than I think?
I would say, well, I have to give a shout out to my two guys, Mario Borgata and Andrew Sarlo. They're my Rangers text group, and I text with them every day. Sometimes first thing when I get up in the morning at 7 a.m. is just to like, whatever's happening with the team. And Mario's a mixer and producer. Andrew's a producer, and he did a lot of the Big Thief records and a bunch of other amazing things. He works with Dijon, and it's nice to get together with music people and not talk about music. So those are my ride or dies. And then I will say Wes had a fantasy hockey league. He probably still does have one, and I was the scourge of it because I wouldn't set a lineup every day. So I want to apologize to you, Wes.
Good man.
That was maybe 11 or 12 years ago, where I was not a active participant. I just did the draft and then let it be. But those guys are great, and we're playing some shows with them in the summer, and looking forward to that, and talking hockey with them and all that stuff.
Rah Rah Riot actively plays hockey on tour. I swung by one of their sound checks one time, and like obviously they have like all their shit, but then like there's hockey sticks and balls for when they are not playing music. They like hockey so much that they play hockey with each other. Outrageous behavior. Adults.
I love it. I love that. Well, maybe I'll get in the mix with them then. I did not know that. But yeah, that's. I mean, I know Wes has sung the national anthem at multiple Devil games. And great singer, great voice. But yeah, I look forward to that tour.
Would you ever want to play the national anthem at a Rangers game? Because famously, there's a musician named Flea, and he played one whopper of a national anthem on the old 4-stringer.
We were all together when that happened. It was very, I want to say we played a Bernie Sanders rally that day, and then we were all together at my friend's house and watching it, and I thought it was very cool and wild, but I don't think I have what it takes to do that. And John Brancy's an incredible singer, and he's about to start singing a bunch for us, so I think we have a good thing going on.
It would be very, very funny if you did the national anthem, because you're so not the type of player that Flea is. You're more like, are you a Kim Deal? You got to be a Kim Deal guy, right?
I love Kim Deal, absolutely. And I love Flea too, I should say. I'm a huge fan of Flea's. He's a very different style of playing to me. And one thing that kind of blew my mind was that and I read his memoir over the pandemic, and he said he has a very difficult time playing eighth notes with a guitar pick, and that's like the easiest thing in the world for me. And he is, the best bass player on the planet. So there was something pretty incredible about that.
I swear to God, I was going to say, when I was going to ask if you're a Kim Deal guy, I was going to say, like, you're like eighth notes and melodic, which is like any like great Vampire Weekend song, whether it's A-Punk or whatever, like the bass line is like dancing a lot, but it's also kind of just like fucking straight. And the idea of somebody at like a fucking ranger, like, welcome to Madison Square Garden to play the national anthem, Chris Baio, and you just fucking play because and Flea does rock, but he wasn't playing the bass. He was fucking doing a whole thing.
Yeah,
and a bass player just came out and just fucking chugged along on the bass. That would be incredible.
All right, I got a little bit of time today. Maybe that's what I'll do to fill it, is learn how to play the national anthem on bass.
You should bring into the guys, be like, hey guys, I got a new addition to the set list. They're going to revoke your set list powers and be like, what if we start doing the national anthem and it's like a Baio solo in the style of Kim Deal? Has a team ever used Vampire Weekend though as a goal song?
No one has. No, I would have heard about that. That would be cool. But no.
All right, well, we'll get you there someday. And Pete, you got anything else?
I'm good. I'm just, if you had to pick one team that isn't the Rangers that wins the Stanley Cup this year, who are you going with?
Carolina, and the way Gensel played against us 2 years ago still haunts me. I know we won that series, but that one goal where he kicked the puck up and then batted it into the goal, and that was in Game 7, which we eventually won, haunts me. And I was hoping at the trade deadline we would pick him up, not necessarily to be on our team, but just to not have to play against him. So, we have to get there, but I think there will be a pretty wild second round in store for us.
The incredible thing about Gensel is, and we were guilty of this too, a lot of people were like, what will Gensel be without Crosby? If he's going to a team at the trade deadline, he's going to a team that is going to have, that's like contending. They're probably going to have an awesome center to play him with. So we're like, what will he be with Sebastian Aho? Turns out he's fucking incredible.
I know.
Yeah.
And better than he was this season with Crosby. So I like what you're doing though, by the way. You're like, oh, let me just take a wild stab. The team that we play in the second round. So you're hedging your bets right now is what you're doing.
Yeah,
Smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Very smart.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, real quick, did you like Monkey Man?
I loved it. I had a very, very busy last week, and I wanted to do something nice to myself, and I really enjoyed Monkey Man. It was a very enjoyable 2:30 viewing at a mall in Glendale.
There's no in Glendale?
In Glendale, yes.
Famously a hockey town.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Bummer. Did you have any thoughts one way or another about the poor Coyotes?
Is it happening? I feel like I've been.
It is.
It is. That's a shame.
Yeah.
I will say, I drove out to Arizona with the aforementioned Andrew Sarlo to see Rangers Yotes last year, and I had a great time. My joke that I kept saying, seeing a hockey team play in a 5,000 capacity was like seeing the Rolling Stones play at the Echo. Just like seeing, and I know the players say that the ice is really amazing there, and I feel for the Yotes, and that's very difficult for people with families to have to move and all that kind of stuff. So I send my love out to them.
Very diplomatic of you.
Diplomat's son. Somebody did say in the chat, President's son, because you guys won the President's Trophy.
I like
just
it.
Tons of Vampire Weekend puns. Baio, you are the best. We appreciate you coming on. We wish you a nice postseason run and a good tour. That's going to be an ass kicker. Everybody get tickets to wherever they're playing. The MSG shows are going to be amazing. Didn't even mention that they've got a fucking Billy Joel cover band opening for them at MSG. Zero chance that will be missed. Way to fucking go, and thanks for coming on with us, man.
Thank you guys. I had a great time. Let's do it again, and I'm sure we'll see you out there at some shows.
All right,
Hell yeah.
appreciate you.